The manicured lawns of Windsor Great Park have always hidden secrets. But right now, behind the high walls and guarded gates of Royal Lodge, a quiet, relentless war is being fought. It's a war of attrition, of wills, and of staggering royal finance. And it's about to reach a critical, irreversible point. This isn't about Prince Andrew's past. The palace considers that chapter closed, settled, and buried. This is about his future. More precisely, it's about whether the monarchy has any future for him at all. For the Duke of York, Royal Lodge is more than a 30-room mansion. It's the last redoubt of a besieged prince. After losing his military titles, his royal patronages, and his public role, this estate is his final claim to status, his last significant foothold inside the institution. Insiders describe a life that has shrunk to fit its boundaries. His world is the stables, the private gardens, the opulent yet now isolating rooms. Staff accounts suggest a routine of eerie normalcy. Paperwork in the morning, rides through the private parkland in the afternoon, evenings in near isolation. It's a life meticulously maintained, but it's a fortress under silent siege. The siege is being orchestrated from Buckingham Palace, and the general is the king. Charles's strategy isn't one of dramatic confrontation. It's a masterclass in institutional and financial pressure. The first lever was pulled with the removal of official duties and titles. The second was the financial aftermath of the Virginia Joffre settlement, a reported £12 million that didn't just drain Andrew's reserves. It strained the late Queen's private coffers and, by extension, the family's collective resources. Now, the third and most powerful lever is being pressed: the simple, crushing cost of maintaining a prince in exile. Here's the brutal financial math the palace is reportedly examining. Royal Lodge, on a 75-year lease from the Crown Estate, requires a fortune in upkeep. Estimates suggest annual running costs soar into the hundreds of thousands. Heating for a building that size alone is a small fortune. Then there's the staff, the security, the grounds maintenance. And for a man with no public income, no military salary, and a significantly diminished private allowance, this is unsustainable. Palace aides have reportedly framed it in stark terms to the king. The sovereign grant, funded by taxpayers, cannot be seen to subsidise this. The optics in a cost of living crisis would be catastrophic, but Andrew has refused to yield. According to whispers from his dwindling inner circle, there is a firm, almost incredulous defiance. The belief, they say, is that the controversy will fade, that if he maintains a dignified silence and holds his ground, time will blur the lines, and some form of limited rehabilitation might be possible. His appearance at the 2024 Garter Day ceremony was the clearest signal of this mindset. It was a calculated test, inserting himself back into a formal royal procession, observing the public and media reaction. The palace's reaction was immediate and icy. He was kept off the balcony, excluded from the official luncheon. The message was received, but it's unclear if it was accepted. That's when the pressure found its most concrete focus: the lease itself. Negotiations over Royal Lodge, according to multiple reliable reports, have moved from polite suggestion to urgent planning. It's no longer a question of if he should move, but when and where. The chosen destination, insiders from both sides hint, is Frogmore Cottage. The irony is almost Shakespearean. The home that became a symbol of Harry and Meghan's breakaway is now being prepared as the final destination for Andrew's exile. The move is framed as a sensible downsizing, but its symbolism screams of a permanent sidelining. This isn't just a real estate transaction. For Andrew, it represents a profound physical demotion. moving from a sovereign's grade residence to a cosy cottage on the estate grounds is a public admission of his reduced standing, carved in stone and mortar. For King Charles, it's a coldly pragmatic necessity. It reduces a massive financial liability, removes a lingering public relations danger, and physically consolidates the slimmed-down monarchy he is building. One palace source was quoted as saying, "It's not personal, it's pruning." The human and emotional fallout within this family dynamic is where the real drama lies. While publicly framed as a family matter, private accounts describe a relationship between the brothers that has frozen over. Charles is said to view Andrew not just with personal disappointment, but as an active threat to the monarchy's fragile modern reputation. Andrew, in turn, is rumoured to feel betrayed, that the institution he served for decades has abandoned him at his lowest moment. His daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, are caught in the middle, loyal to their father, but acutely aware of the damage to their own standing within the royal fold. And then there is the question of security, a colossal, multi-million-pound annual expense that hangs over this entire saga. As a former full-time working royal with a known high threat level, Andrew's state-funded security detail has remained. But whispers within government and palace corridors suggest this is under intense review. The unspoken question being asked: does a man with no public role who attracts negative attention warrant the same level of protection? A move to Frogmore could be the pretext for a reassessment of his security protocol, another form of pressure that could make his current lifestyle utterly impossible to maintain. So, what is Andrew's real next move? The palace's expected script is compliance, a quiet, orderly transition to Frogmore, a further retreat from any public view, an acceptance of a purely private life funded by a diminished private income. But those who know him suggest the script may not be followed. His next move could be a stubborn refusal, launching a bitter, behind-the-scenes battle over the lease terms, funding, and his remaining privileges. Or, more dangerously for the palace, it could be a shift to a form of guerrilla public relations, using sympathetic contacts in the media to paint a picture of a vengeful king cruelly evicting his own brother. The truth likely lies in a tense, messy middle ground. A move will probably happen, because the financial and institutional pressure will become unbearable. But Andrew's next move after that is the lingering threat. Will he become a quietly resentful ghost on the Windsor estate, or will the bitterness seek an outlet? The monarchy hopes for the former, but plans for the latter. Because in this war of attrition, the king may win the battle for the house, but the fight for the narrative, for the last word in Andrew's story, is far from over. This is more than a property story. It's a blueprint for how the modern monarchy handles its most toxic problems, with quiet, relentless financial force. Do you think Andrew will go quietly? Or will this eviction spark a final public confrontation? Share your predictions below. For the daily, unfiltered truth behind the crown's closed doors, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell for Royal Family Daily.